Hey guys, SebAtreyu is back, and in today's video I'm going to be delivering some lock advice for anyone really, but especially for newbie lockers. Lock advice for people just starting their lock journey. Let's get to it. SebAtreyu is back, yeah. SebAtreyu is back, yeah. SebAtreyu is back, yeah. SebAtreyu. So, as I said, in today's video, I'm going to be delivering some advice to lockers of all ages, but especially to the newbie lockers, the people who are just starting their journey. So let's just get right into this. The first tip is to cover your locks every single night. I'm sure you've heard this from other lock tubers. You probably even heard it from me. Covering your locks helps to keep them together, meaning it kind of combats the tendency for your locks to unravel when your hair is making contact with rough surfaces. It helps to maintain the moisture in your hair because it's not evaporating away as easily. This is especially important when you're first starting out because your starter locks have not locked up yet. So that means that if lint gets in there, once those locks lock up, it can actually embed that lint. And everyone knows that when lint is embedded in your locks, it's darn near impossible to get it out. So much so that Yanni's only recommendation for removing lint is to dye your hair. So yeah, I believe in taking a preventative approach. So cover your locks at night and during these times, even in the day, even when you're out. At least that's just my preference. I feel better when my locks are covered, especially when I'm around other people during these trying times. Just saying. The second point is to wash and rinse out thoroughly anything you put in your locks. So this can be, some products that you're putting in your hair, those products that smell really good. Wash and rinse those out. It could be oils. It could be whatever type of products you use, gels, waxes, souffles, etc. Whatever you put in your hair, wash it out on your wash day and rinse it thoroughly. Also, this, believe it or not, includes the shampoo that you're using to wash your locks. Rinse that out thoroughly because these things build up over time. Now I know that there are a lot of people who swear by wax. For them, it's the only thing that they can use that will keep their locks together versus, doing a twist and rip method or crochet method. These are people who have a looser texture but who still want to retwist. A lot of these people use wax. And I've been in the game long enough to know that that really never ends well, but I'm also, because of my experience in the game, too old to be trying to to debate that topic. So if you want to use wax, proceed with caution, but know that it may not necessarily reveal itself right away. Sometimes it takes years. Sometimes it takes until that first ACV rinse when all the stuff that's at the core of your locks is lifted to the surface. That's when you see things like wax. So just proceed with caution. I don't use it, but everyone has to decide for his or herself. The third point is to learn how your hair grows. So does your hair grow away from your locks? Does it grow into your locks? I've made several videos on this topic. Refer to one of those if you don't know what I mean. But the sooner you learn how your hair grows, the better. Now you may have to wait until your locks are no longer starter locks. You may have to wait until your hair actually locks up because I think that will be a better indicator of, telling you how your hair grows. If your hair is not locked up yet, then you're gonna probably have hairs growing everywhere anyway. So I would wait until you're at least locked, or at least the majority of your lock has started to bud, and then start to pay attention to how your hair grows. If your hair grows away from your locks and you don't do maintenance, then you're gonna have to use something like the braid technique to keep those hairs incorporated into the lock so that those locks don't thin out. If your hair grows into your locks, it's a non-issue, and enjoy life. The fourth tip is to learn from the mistakes of others. Don't watch other people make mistakes and then think that you're going to be the exception and then try it and encounter a catastrophe, right? This calamitous situation. No. Watch what many other people have experienced, and if they're having the same experience, then the likelihood that if you do that, you're going to experience it as well increases. So learn from the mistakes of others. I'll give you an example. I've watched countless lockers bleach their hair, and then at some point, whether it's a few months or several years later, their hair starts to break off. So guess what? I've never bleached my locks and I've never lost any locks. So learn from the mistakes of others. It will serve you well. The fifth and final point is to cherish the early to teen stages of your lock journey. I made a video a few years back now detailing out the different stages of the lock journey. And I happen to be in that final stage at this point. So I can tell you that it is important to cherish and to savor the early to teen stages of your lock journey. I know as a newbie locker, you are definitely more interested in the later stages, in having mature locks and having, those starter locks that are no longer, but that are locked up, and you're interested in length. Trust me, I understand, I went through it. But what I can tell you is that there is no other time or other stage in your lock journey that is as exciting. What can I say at 6 years? The novelty has worn off, quite honestly. It's been kind of bittersweet. While I'm happy to have nice, long, healthy locks that are 6+ years old now, it's kind of sad because I started the lock journey, lock quest for me, with other people who now don't have locks. You encounter so many people on YouTube. I remember asking one subscriber if the lock community existed outside of YouTube, and I know that it really doesn't exist out of YouTube. YouTube is what, in my opinion, birthed the lock community. The camaraderie, the watching other people's videos, the seeing how they do things and learning from them, the putting out what you've learned. To me, that's the real community aspect of having locks. If I was never on YouTube, if I never watched YouTube, I wouldn't experience that because I don't really talk to people who have locks or encounter them. So I think the lock community is definitely only on YouTube. And when you've been in the game for as long as me, you notice things. Either people who you started with no longer have their locks. Maybe they're no longer interested. Maybe they've lost touch or interest or both. It's just kind of sad. So while it's great to have been on this quest for so long, there's a sad component, and the novelty has definitely worn off. It wears off. It doesn't last indefinitely. So once again, cherish and savor your early years of your lock journey, because that time, as is the case for most things, will never come again. Alright, I hope this video didn't come off too much as preachy. I also hope that it did not leave you feeling sad. Basically, the point is, locks are awesome. The lock community is awesome. The lock journey request is awesome. So really just enjoy it for all that it is and never take it for granted, because you might feel differently one day. If you choose to love, do so unconditionally, because loving with conditions conditions the heart to not really love at all. SebAtreyu is out.